You know, every one of us have baggage that we wish that had never happened in our life. I do. I was a very rebellious teenager. And at 16 years old, I quit school, and I was not a good influence on my young people's group. The parents didn't really want the kids hanging out with me. I don't want my son hearing this. Look that way, Brent. And, but anyway, I went through a very rebellious time as a teenager. And my sister knows that. I used to tell her all kinds of stories as we were growing. She was 2 years younger than me, and I think she was my counselor. I used to share all kinds of things I was going through with her. But you know, the Lord had a plan for my life. My parents didn't know what to do with me after I quit Bible school, so they sent me on a long train trip, 1,200 miles away from home, to a Bible school. And I stayed there for 2 years. And they knew I needed some intensive therapy, I think. So they sent me a long ways from home. And that was a Bible school that my grandfather had started years before. And he was I come from a wonderful heritage of praying grandparents and parents that loved the Lord, and they always prayed for generations to come, for their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren. And so I know those prayers have followed me all these years. And you know, I went to that Bible school, and I came to a point, and I wasn't even going to share this, but when I heard Tawny sharing some of these things, I just felt God saying to me, "You're to share that." But I got to a point where I knew that I had to surrender to the Lord or take my life. It was one or the other. I could not go any further. And I remember closing the door to my bedroom, throwing myself across the bed and saying, "Lord, I feel like a piece of broken pottery that's been shattered on a concrete floor. I feel shattered in a million pieces. I know I'm 16 and a half years old, but I feel there's no purpose in my life anymore. I don't feel you have anything for me. But Lord, if somehow you could pick up those little pieces and glue them together to make something useful of my life, I would be so grateful to you." And I didn't really feel that the Lord could ever do anything useful with me. I thought, I'm asking him for an impossible task. I didn't have a lot of faith at that time, but I did give him those words, and I said, "God, if there's any way, somehow use me to do something useful in my life, besides being so hateful and angry and rebellious," and I was so unhappy. And as I looked at the pills on the counter there, I knew it was a choice of either taking them or surrendering completely to God, because I couldn't go on any longer. And when I surrendered my life to the Lord, little did I know the journey that He had. That's when my ultimate makeover began. And you know what? It wasn't anything, this ultimate makeover, when we go to the ones that we all experience, when we think of an ultimate makeover, we think of spas, and oh, it's so beautiful. You know, they rub your back, they rub your feet, they do your nails. It's beautiful. But you know what? God's ultimate makeover is not always that pleasant. Sometimes there's a lot of pruning, and He has to take some garbage out of our lives before He can build on us. And there was a lot of junk in my life that God had to clean out before He could do anything with Wendy. Little did I know that one day I would be a foster mom to many, many teenagers. And you know, one of the things that helped me to be a foster mom was knowing that God never gave up on me. So why should I give up on any of these kids? They've had a lot rougher upbringing than I ever had. I had praying parents, and I was rebellious. Some of these kids haven't even had a chance. We had kids that ate out of garbage pails and couldn't even, like as I mentioned in the little book, they couldn't even close their eyes for a prayer without holding their food and hoping it'd be there. They had a very different upbringing than me. How dare me not love them and accept them? And you know, what Satan tried to destroy my life with, God turned around into something good. And He helped me to understand that, you know what, Wendy, you know what pain is. You know what it is to feel rejection. You know what it is to feel so wounded and so devastated and so lost and so hopeless. And then He started sending these children into my life. Well, that lasted for 25 years. Little did we know that it would be a long term working with children. And then, after that period, we took a little rest period, and now my husband and I, in the last 3 years, we've opened a little church in the inner city of Windsor.